Are you concerned about falling? In the next year, 1 in 4 seniors will experience a fall. Do not allow yourself to become a statistic. Tai Chi is proven to reduce your fall risk by 58%. Classes for all abilities are available throughout DuPage County. Tai Chi. Exercise for life. Exercise for you.
All right, just look along.
So is this set up out there these times for I know birthday's coming up.
Earth Day is this Saturday from 11 till 1 at this bar.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
You would think that you're bored of 2 hours. Oh, yeah, chair.
So other events. A week tomorrow, 1 o'clock the Chinese buffet, Bloomingdale Road and on the trail, 1 o'clock, informal lunch. Come out. And then the following day is World Tai Chi Day, 9 to 11 at the Theosophical Society in Wheaton, myself and 2 other instructors, with the sermon, and then we have a week off, and then we return on May 9th. May the 9th is the return. We go all through May through to the end of June. And then you have 2 weeks off.
You said
1 o'clock. What else do you want to know? What else do you want to know about the schedules?
The question about
You have a question about Tai Chi?
the second session, Steve, right?
Yes, we are here permanently. The difficulty is when their summer camp starts, because evidently the children are not, like being outside in the warm weather is too tough for them. It's like they need to be inside in the air conditioning. The outside is not good for them. So they're pushing us outside. Silence. Right, so what is your question on Tai Chi?
Are we supposed to swing arms first?
It actually doesn't matter what order you do to the no, I generally do this one. First. All right, so what's your question on Tai Chi?
It's based on martial arts.
It is based on martial arts, yes.
So martial arts were created to fight.
Martial arts were created to fight, yes.
So martial arts is based on energy flowing to be able to fight better and to Tai Chi is kind of like a softer version of that.
All right.
Sorry. If everybody else knows the answer.
So it's a good question as to like how does all this stuff fit together with these ideas? Okay, so loose, relax, swing around. So the umbrella term for everything that we do is Qigong. So to say that you do Qigong is to say that you drive a car. Okay? Tai Chi is a very specific form of Qigong. So to say that you do Tai Chi will be to say, I drive a Toyota. So you're saying the same thing, you're just being more specific about what you're doing. So Qigong being an umbrella term means on a basic level, it means breathing exercises. So everything that we do is breathing based. More correctly, it means having great skill with energy. And so the exercises that we do move energy through your body, which helps to promote health and well-being, nurturing, nourishing all of your internal organs, everything that's going on.
I don't know if that's if I pushed the wrong button. And by us swinging our arms, we're bringing in the Chi energy, the good energy.
Everything that we do brings in good energy, and arm swinging in particular is about moving blood and circulation. So, no, yoga does have a lot of similarities to what Qigong and what we do, and yoga technically is a form of Qigong. The unfortunate thing is that the Western form of yoga that we generally have in most places is not what it originally was and is meant to be. It has been very westernized. True yoga is a lot more spiritual than just coming in and stretching and moving. True yoga has more of a religious connotation than Tai Chi does, for sure. I mean, we don't have any religious connotations at all, but true yoga does. But most of that has been cleansed from the practice.
Go to church.
Let's stay away from religion. You know, religion is actually one of my favorite subjects to talk about, so but we're better off staying away from that. I had a visit from Jehovah's Witnesses last summer. I was sat out on my patio in a rocking chair, and these two guys come up, and they say, you know, have you got a few minutes to talk? We're Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'm like, oh, I pick up my chair, I turn it around to look at them, and they must have said, oh, we need to go now, about 10 or 12 times. They were desperate to get away. And I'm like, no, you said this. Let's talk about this. Like, you're going to make things. Let's talk about it. And they were like, no, we've got to go. We've got to go. It's like, it's like Jehovah's Witnesses trying to get away from you.
We had a friend that used to do that in person, baby. And walk with you.
I tell you, if my place wasn't such a mess, I probably would do that. They've not been back since, which is really unfortunate because so anyway, back on topic. Where was I? Jehovah's Witnesses. So yeah, so a true meaning of Qigong is developing skill with energy. And so it's the way that you move energy through your body via the motions that you do that cause healing and wellness and well-being in you. So things like acupuncture is Qigong. Herbology is Qigong. Massage, gua sha, tui na, those are all forms of Qigong. And Tai Chi is a form of Qigong. And Tai Chi is based on martial arts. So it was originally created as a means of self-defense. It originated in the mid-1600s in the Chen village in central China.
How is that related to the book, The Art of War?
Oh, The Art of War was written long before that. Yeah, I want to say The Art of War was like 2,200 years ago. Or I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Incorporated martial arts.
Oh, almost definitely. Yeah. So the aspects of the art of war are very much involved in all forms of Chinese martial arts to some extent. I mean, one of the famous lines is Gesundheit. One of the famous lines in Sun Tzu's Art of War was, never attack them or kill before late, never attack them or kill. So yeah, so in the late 1700s, you know, people outside of the village knew that the Chen village had this martial art, but they kept it very secret. And there was a gentleman called Yang Chen Fu who wanted to learn it. So he went to the Chen village, got a job there, and he used to spy on them when they were practicing. And when he felt he had learned enough, he quit his job and left for Beijing and started to teach it in Beijing. And he entered martial arts competitions and won all sorts of martial arts competitions. And people said, well, what's this thing called that you're doing? And it's like, I don't know anything. So it was given the name Tai Chi Chuan, which translates as the great ultimate fist. Now, since then, with less of a need for martial arts and more of a need for health and wellness, the reason that people practice it has changed, because they need to use it less for the fighting ability and more for the health benefits that it gives. Because they found that the people who practiced Tai Chi for the martial arts were healthier, lived longer than the people who didn't. So other people were like, hey, I want to learn this so I can be healthier and live longer. And so the balance changed of people did it for self-defense, people did it for health. And so over the years, it's changed that almost everybody practices it for the health benefits. So moving forward, end of the Chinese dynasties, 1911, and the Sun Yat-sen and what's his name take over with the Republic. Then Japanese invasion, World War II, 1949, communists come about, Chinese Civil War, Mao takes over. And so the Chinese communists were, we don't have a lot of money, hospitals are expensive to build, doctors and nurses are expensive to train and pay. How can we avoid building hospitals and things like that? And their answer was, well, if we keep our population healthy, we don't need as many hospitals and doctors and nurses. What's the best way to keep our population healthy? And the answer they came up with was Tai Chi. And so in the early 1950s, they created a simplified version of Tai Chi, the 24 posture form, which is what I teach in Villa Park, Lombard, Roselle, and Elmhurst, with the goal of teaching it to their entire population as their primary form of healthcare. And so the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, like their entire population was taught to do Tai Chi. And it was part of your civil obligation to do your exercises to keep yourself healthy so that you didn't get sick. Come 1979, a gentleman, oh gosh, name's escaping me. Ramona's probably there going like all these names. She's already goes shouting like, oh. But he created the Tai Chi, Qigong, Shibashi sequence that we usually practice, and that translates as the best 18 moves from Tai Chi and Qigong. Does that answer your question? There will be a written quiz at the end of the class. But that's basically the history of Tai Chi in that nutshell. I've been to China twice. I went in 2002. I was there for a month, and I went again in 2007. I was there for another 2 weeks. I would love to go back. You know, 2002, I was like, I went there because I had a friend living in Shanghai at the time. So I went to stay with him. And at that time, I would have loved to have lived there for a while. 2007, it had changed a huge amount. Yeah. I was in Shanghai, Nanjing, Beijing, Xi'an, a few other small places.
Did you have it from one place to another?
No.
Can you speak Chinese?
I cannot speak Chinese, no. You know, the little phrase books, I had one of those.
I don't put spell out, so you could.
Well, I actually found it was easier to write it out than to try and say it. I do not do well with languages, and people cannot understand what I'm saying for some reason. So, but I like going off to like Beijing and Xi'an and all those on my own. Was my little phrase book was fine. I got around people. Yeah, people of it was so friendly.
Yes. They started teaching English there to their young men's
Yeah.
And we figured out that we wanted to do this, so they were doing it together, right?
Yes.
That's what the Chinese guy was doing.
There's always like my granddaughter and I went to Europe and learned the language of charades.
Yeah.
Do they have a set time of the day when you go to the park and exercise? Generally in the morning. So most people will go to the park first thing in the morning to set themselves up for the day. So like if you get up at, if you go to the park like any time between, you know, dawn and like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, they were usually packed with people doing all sorts of stuff. I don't know. But you know, going out into the parks in the morning, the people were just so friendly. You know, if they saw that you were showing interest in what they were doing, even if they couldn't communicate with you, like they would come and like try and get you to participate. The first time I went when I was in Shanghai, I was going to the same park every morning, and one morning I came across a group that were doing sword, and I was learning sword at the time, and like so. You know, I stopped up the first morning to watch them, and then I go out the second morning and I watch them again. A woman walks across and in perfect English goes, "Are you interested in Tai Chi sword?" and it turns out he was a Canadian, and he was working for the Canadian embassy in China because he was Chinese and his family were all in Shanghai. So he was on secondment there, and he was out practicing with his family. And so for the next like 4 or 5 days, I went out and practiced Tai Chi sword with him. You know, the girls were there, they were doing Tai Chi fan, and the guys were doing sword. Yeah.
Did they get guidance for those in the park stuff?
So you get a mix of just groups of friends that will go out. You'll get people on their own, and you will get teachers that go out. So you can walk around and you'll see a little sign there that will be like teacher's name. You know, this is what I teach, this is how much classes are. Yeah. So like you'll see Tai Chi, you'll see Qigong, you'll see ballroom dancing. Ballroom dancing was a big thing with the younger people. Like, you know, you could do your Tai Chi at 7 o'clock in the morning, it would be like Glenn Miller blasting out in the background. And there'd be like people in their 20s and 30s ballroom dancing. You know, and there'd be people, you know, just people socializing, sitting around drinking tea. You know, they'd be playing Chinese chess and mahjong, and you know, it was certainly when I was there, it was a real like social experience to go out into the park in the morning. It was just beautiful.
Well, it's amazing, no matter Where in the Orient, I've worked with engineers from China, Korea, Japan, oh gosh, I forgot all, Vietnam. They're all into some form of martial arts or martial or exercises.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many of them tried to talk me into Tai Chi, but at that time, the Park District didn't have Tai Chi at night because I worked during the day. But these engineers were all for exercise.
Yeah, as I say, you know, especially the Chinese, it was part of your social responsibility as a citizen to, you know, to be as healthy as you can be.
What years were you there?
2002 and 2007.
It's 7.
Yeah, no, it certainly, I'd say in 2007, the change was huge. The amount of cars there were, it had gone from bicycles to cars. And then it had gone from like pretty much everybody is slim to not so slim. Yeah. And
They
like
came west.
yeah. So like 2002, there were no grocery stores like we have grocery stores.
Okay.
You know, it was all, you know, how things used to be of like, you know, your little shop selling vegetables and meat and things like that.
Yeah.
They didn't have snacks. They didn't have stuff like that. But then the Western grocery stores come in and they start bringing in snacks and junk food and all that sort of stuff. And all of that stuff is addictive. You know, it is physically addictive. And so once they get a taste for it, then, you know, the health benefits be damned. It's, yeah. So
it's also actually the same as what we saw.
it is similar moves. Not the same, but similar. If you want to know more about what that form is like, as Tim and Jane, I used to take my Roselle class, doing the 24 posture form. The class still asks about them, but I just tell them that Tim and Jane don't like them anymore. They're not coming back. I don't. No, but they do ask about you so often. Yeah. I do, yes. Yeah, it's the 24 posture form, it's just more active, it's movement, and it's more about learning than just following along. You want to be really mentally challenged? Yes.
What's the goal today? Swinging the arms, 20 minutes or 30 minutes?
My goal was to go as long as it was before somebody noticed what we were actually doing.
The Olympics were in China.
Well, one thing that they don't have is a shortage of labour generally. Yeah.
When I was there in 2000, I began a guide. So part of the tour was to speak to a woman who was 52 and see her house.
Yeah.
2 rooms. She did a store presentation for us kind of thing.
Nice.
And she said that they needed to retire at 50 at that time. So that the government would help them if they retired at not yet. They went, everybody retired.
Yeah.
And the government would help support, subsidize them. Environments and houses. And she said that was because the young people,
Needed the work.
that was to guarantee the young people, because the young people didn't have work, they become upset. They became upset, the
Yeah.
government in general. So they controlled that. Yeah.
I could so retire at 50. I could retire at 16, so I've never wanted a job. Yeah. All right. Well, we're very near the 30 minutes, so we may as well just keep going and get the full 30 minutes in. Because it's actually good, because I haven't done the 30-minute stretch this week yet. I did 20 minutes on Tuesday, the class on Tuesday, and we did some shaking as well. So, anybody got any other questions that you want answering that take me 5 minutes to answer?
What's the meaning of life?
42. So that was that. So I got a story about that. So
So that's the number of what the thing is called.
the baseball player, Babe Ruth,
No, Jackie Robinson.
or Jackie Robinson.
He is 42.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago, that Jackie Robinson made everybody first.
Monday.
No,
A couple days.
So last year when I was a vendor at Kent County Flea Market, I'm stood there and the guy in the stall opposite me is talking to two people, and he goes, "You can ask me anything. I can answer anything, and I can tell you everything except the meaning of life. Except the meaning of life." So like when the people left, I go over to them and I said, "I'm sorry, I just come over here. I couldn't help overhearing what you were saying to these people. And I heard you say that you didn't know the meaning of life." And I said, "The meaning of life is 42. And he goes, "What?" And I said, "Listen." So I get my phone out and I put it on voice and I go, "What is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything?" And my phone comes back and goes, "The meaning of life, the universe, and everything is 42. And he's like, "What?" And like, he's totally freaked out about this. And the rest of the weekend, he was telling everybody, like, the meaning of life is 42. And like, you can Google it and the Google will tell you it's 42. That was so funny. Obviously never read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy yet. Or listen to the radio show, or watch the TV series, or watch the movie. But yeah, it was so funny. Like the whole weekend, it was telling everybody about it.
So did you sell
There you go. Now you know the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. It is 42.
Hi.
Well, I know the answer, I just don't know the question. That's the whole point of the books, is not 42. Is that they want to know what the meaning of life, the universe, and everything is, and so they create a computer to give the answer, and they program the computer, and 7 million years later, the computer comes up with the answer of 42. And they're like, everybody's confused, and they're like, well, the computer's like, well, you didn't really ask me the question. And so they design another computer to figure out what the question is. And the computer that they create is the Earth. But unfortunately, like 10 minutes before the computer program finishes, it gets demolished to make way for Paper Express bypass. So,
So if you do this for 30 minutes, what's the health benefit?
so the 30 minutes of arm swinging is said to reveal and cure hidden diseases.
Hidden diseases.
So if you think about younger people, especially sports personalities that are like in their 20s and 30s and have heart attacks, that's the sort of thing that the Chinese would say, well, if you just swung your arms every day, then that wouldn't happen. But that is purely anecdotal. There is no clinical evidence for that. Right, so allow your arms to come to a rest. And that's close to half an hour. And, and allow your arms to swing on that. So that was not planned at all, but it's good for you. You know you're getting your arm swinging right when you look forward to it. And you ask complicated questions, so John can give a long answer. And tap the shoulder back into the shoulder. But you know, the difference between Tai Chi and Qigong and how it relates to martial arts is a good question to know the answer to. So you can tell other people when they go, "What are you doing?" And you can go, "I'm doing the best 18 movements out of Tai Chi and Qigong." All 18 of them.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. And more. And way more. Right. Bring your waist to the right. And take your head to one shoulder. Roll it up. Round through the floor. Without tilting it back, bring it across. But exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Change direction. One. Okay, in 1979, it was Lin Lusheng that created the Tai Chi Qigong form. He is one of China's national treasures. He is revered the same way that you revere the Constitution and Declaration of Independence. That's how much he's revered. All right, so bend your knees, let your arms hang down, and roll your. That's probably him now. That is definitely not Glenn Miller. But you never know, it could be. Change direction. His body was never found.
Who's that?
Glenn Miller.
Oh, it's
One. If I remember correctly, he died in a plane crash flying from the UK to northern France to entertain the troops in like 1945.
it's familiar. Probably it's on.
Yeah, they think they found him.
Yeah. 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 When you want to try to you get that in your own.
And so the first time, the first time I went to the same, I stayed with my friend in Shanghai, but when I went off, I just went off on my own. And the second time I was part of the martial arts tour. Other rest. Or I did know both of them really big early. Yeah, I'd still like to go back. There's places that I'd still like to see. I'd like to go to Tibet. Tibet.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. So interesting fact about China is that the towns in the west of China are actually closer to Germany than they are to Beijing. Overall,
And they're closer to,
they're closer to Germany than they are to Beijing.
yeah, only it's down here. Prior to the longitude line.
Yeah.
Kind of the country more north and south. Just
It's just roll your wrists. So many things to do, so many places to go. Change direction. Yeah, push one wrist up and then the other. And you mentioned the art of war. The art of war is still used in most military schools the world over.
The film.
There is that.
Very strategic first line. That's fine. And
Yes. And there are management versions of it, I think, right? There's definitely, I can definitely name one army that used it to a great deal of effect. The NBA used it.
You did have a term, seniors,
At COD. I did. I once say I had like 50 people in my session.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, we couldn't stay. We were there since
I was going to say because they started at noon. Yeah. Rugby farms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was the last one. See, they say the best till last. Yeah, I was on at 3 o'clock, but yeah, I had a really good turnout. Hands and slowly back to your head, so you put upright, circle your.
the first army.
Yes. Yes, all the inflatable tanks and the whole section of we're going to cross the channel of Dover. Yes. So I did read something the other day which I have not fact checked. But evidently the Germans tried to change direction. The Germans tried doing something similar earlier in the war, and they built an airfield and planes and hangars and all that out of wood as a deception. But evidently the British found out about it before it was finished. So they waited until it was finished and they dropped a wooden bomb on it. Now, whether that's true or not, I do not know. But knowing the British sense of humour, it totally fits in. If you are interested in reading The Art of War, I do have a couple of surplus copies available. It is a very good book on strategy, and not just for fighting battles. One, and if you choose, you can bring your feet closer together, circle your change direction. 1. Alright. The 8 directions of Qi. With this one, the goal is to go at the pace that is right for you, using your mind to guide your breath and your breath to guide your movement. Now, they didn't tell me that they were leaving early. Right, so whether you're sitting or standing, the shoulder parts are straight, knees relaxed, back straight, head to roll, arms relaxed, either side. So gather, pull up, expand, compress, flow in, push out, think, disperse. Inhale, gather. Exhale, pull up. Inhale, expand. Exhale, comfort. Inhale, flow in. Exhale, flow out. In, stay. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So gather, pull up, expand, compress, flow in, push out, swing, disperse. And do one more.